Originally, I was going for like a fluffy 90s layer look, but instead it's giving very like kobu할 수 없는 너의 마음. Or maybe like a 90s visual K artist. 너 연이月のように全て包む하늘夜へと沈む羽がないHi, it's Kendall here. New around here, welcome. Not new around here, what is up, home? Skillet Biscuit. Happy Saturday. Don't know what Saturday is? It's when I do something on my channel called Bad Movies in a Beat, the series on my channel where I talk about bad movies while putting my makeup on, and I'm gonna do it this week because somebody was very rude last week. This bitch do one video a week and she's half-assing that one. I'm like, hello, shut up. My 13th reason why, nigga. Before we do that, we're going to send it over to Admiral Kennie. This is a look. We're going to send it over to Admiral Kennie. Thank you. Hello, everyone. This is Admiral Kennie, and today's video is sponsored by Beam. Beam makes nighttime hot chocolate to help you relax and get restful sleep. It's formulated with nano CBD without THC, reishi mushroom, magnesium, melatonin, and L-theanine to help promote relaxation, regulation of the sleep cycle, as well as getting more restful and quality sleep. Just make it before bed like you would any other instant hot chocolate. Mix it with milk or mix it with water. I mix mine with almond milk. Warm up your almond milk, mix in a scoop or two of the powder, and enjoy. There's no sugar added. It's dairy-free, keto-friendly, gluten-free, and most importantly, it's effective. I am someone unabashedly that drinks too much caffeine, and it's fine during the day, but sometimes when it's time to go to bed, I'm still wired and I'm like, hey, let's do everything still. But sometimes you gotta go to bed. So I made a cup the other day and I remember taking a sip of it and I was like, huh, that's not bad. They offer 6 flavors, including the original cinnamon cocoa, chocolate peanut butter, sea salt caramel, chocolate raspberry, white chocolate peppermint, and mint chip. So if you would like to check out Beam, feel free to click on the link down below. Be sure to subscribe to get 20% off, and you can get an additional 15% off if you use my code Kennie. That's up to 35% off the original price. And of course, you can skip, cancel at any time. Big thanks again to Beam for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get on to the debauchery. Oh, 2 quick hair related things. 1, burn myself. I do it like once every 6 months. We're right on time. 2, for those of you that have been following the glue saga, I am not using glue today because I'm scared. I know my edges survived it, but I can't go back to winter 2021. It was a very cold time. So I'm not using it today. But I will link down below what product it was because people were asking. I think I'll only use it when I like go on vacation though, because again, I'm scared. Last time we were here, we looked at something from Tubi, so you know it was a mess. Diary of a Unicorn. The story of a newly single woman in her sexual prime who gets sucked into the dark, seedy underbelly of swinging, and it gets very stupid. It was a masterpiece. So if you want to check that out, that'll be linked up above, or you can check it out in the Bad Movies in a Beat playlist. And this week, we're talking about something that makes me very, very upset, okay? Was really excited for this week's movie to come out. I thought it would come out like closer to Pride, so I was going to talk about it then because it looked like garbage. This is a begrudging good movie instead of GLAM. I'm so mad. Today is the day that I talk about Red, White, and Royal Blue, a love story starring 2 people that I've actually mentioned already in shitty movies in Bad Movies in a Beat history, if you follow the franchise thus far. We have the Kissing Booth 2 and 3, Taylor Zakar Perez, who plays the ethnic love interest when she is trying to decide whether or not she's going to go back to the white boy, who was very attractive and way more attractive than the main guy, but whatever. Him, and we have Nicholas Galitzine. Is that how you pronounce that? I don't know. But the main guy in Purple Hearts, which I've done a video on, as well as Camilla Cantaloupe's Cinderella. With that said, between the two, I've seen Nicholas, why am I saying his first name like I know him personally? I've seen Nicholas Galitzine. His work is inconsistent. I've seen him in things that are actually very good. But I've also seen him in garbage. So it's really a toss-up. At first I was starting to think of him as like the new version of Noah Scent of a Woman because he seems to be everywhere. His movies are more of a toss-up of whether or not they'll be good or not. But with that said, it's the guy from the Kissing Booth and the dude from Purple Hearts being in a gay love story. That sounds fucking terrible. And I'll be damned if this movie isn't very cute. I watched it last weekend while doing my nails. Someone said that my nails look very quintessentially Detroit, And I don't know if that's true or what they mean by that. But if so, thank you. I was watching it and I was like, is it the acetone fumes? Why am I liking this movie? I thought this would be terrible. And it's not. It's actually very cute. There's like a bunch of moments that are very swoon worthy, and my heart started doing that painful like pitter patter thing. Like, am I dying? Is it the nail polish remover? Or is it just the sting of love? You lucky bastards. I hate how at this point, me being like a begrudgingly single person is like my brand. Especially because I just deleted Hinge again. And I was telling Twitter or whatever that hellscape is called now that I deleted it because every man on Hinge looks like they just crawled out of the primordial ooze. So when I see two beautiful people in love, it hurts me a little bit. There's a part of me that feels a sting, but there's also a bigger part of me that just loves love, okay? But being jealous and angry is also fun, so... Perez and Galitzine, however you pronounce that, play the first son of the United States and Prince of England, respectively, who fall in love while being forced to interact with each other for diplomatic relations between the United States and Great Britain. They have a good old-fashioned enemies to lovers arc, have to figure out their lives and their identities and their truths and what is best for their country. Will their love have to stay a shameful secret, or will it be unthinkably the thing that brings everyone together? But yes, it's very, very cute, and if you were considering watching it, I guess I recommend it. It's not what I wanted, but fine. So without further ado, let's talk about the movie. This is Red, White, and Royal Blue. So the film opens at the wedding of one of our main characters, Prince Harry's brother. And at this wedding, as a guest, is first son to President Uma Thurman. She has a name. I don't care. It's Uma Thurman. She doesn't disappear in the movie. Alex Claremont Diaz. And from the jump, it would seem that these two, Henry and Alex, have a bit of a contentious relationship, particularly from Alex towards Henry, but Henry seems to reciprocate that animosity since it seems to be coming from Alex. And Alex doesn't want to go to the wedding reception at all because he'd prefer to just hang out with his best friend Nora and avoid having to be in the same room as Henry because, again, he has so much just dislike for the guy. Apparently, people often compare him to Prince Henry, which is something that he does not like because he thinks that Henry is a tool. He was born to privilege. He has this general snobbiness about him. And Henry also doesn't like him, saying that he's annoying and overly animated. The animosity doesn't end at the reception and certainly doesn't go unnoticed because it results in them accidentally knocking over the cake at the wedding reception and having the tower fall on them in front of prestige guests, as well as those in attendance from British tabloids. As you can imagine, the same tabloids that made Meghan Markle's consumption of avocados a newsworthy story really leaned into a very public frenzy between these two privileged men. Alex is sent back to the United States after the debacle, and President Uma Thurman is like, what the hell? I just sent you over there to do nothing but represent the United States, represent the family, come back, don't cause an international embarrassing situation. I am running for re-election in the next 14 months. We cannot have this silly distraction taking away from all of the work we're trying to do to get re-elected. So I'm going to need you to go back to London and fix this. You're going to have to do a whole PR thing with him to make it seem like you guys are best friends. Make it look like the sun shines out of his ass. So he goes back to London, does this whole PR campaign to make it seem like they're best of friends. They do a bunch of interviews. They read to children at a pediatric hospital. And while they're there doing that particular thing, they end up having a scare, like a active shooter scare, in which their Secret Service pushes them into a closet. Henry's like, why do you hate me so much? Like, where does this come from? And Alex is like, well, the first time I was out in society, you looked at me like I stank, and then you turned to your dude and was like, oh, get me out of here. And Henry's like, admittedly, I could have been nicer to you. I am sorry. Fairness, what I said was, I've got to get out of here. That was right after my dad died, and the Crown had me walking around as if everything was okay, and I could not do that shit. So I was just kind of a prick to everybody. So I apologize for being a prick to you. He was like, well, what else are your issues with me? And Alex feels kind of silly because he doesn't have any other ones. Literally, it's just that one time he was kind of rude to him. He was like, certainly you have more than that. He was like, well, no, it's because, you know, it was my first time out in society and I could have really used your support, and I was really devastated when I didn't get it. Like, we're in a very similar space, children of like very prominent people, and I'm not used to being out in these spaces, and I was hoping that you, born into royalty, could have been a bit of a support for me. But they seem to make up after this conversation, and in walks the Secret Service saying that the issue was simply a kid who brought firecrackers to the hospital for some reason. And this conversation and this time for them to acknowledge some of the animosity is the first time they can put it away a bit. Back in the US, Alex runs into a journalist named Miguel. And apparently him and Miguel have a bit of a history together. Apparently they had a bit of a physical relationship, nothing that went to penetrative sex, but like a making out, hooking up type of thing. And so they run into each other at a cafe, and it's pretty obvious that Miguel seems to have some ulterior motives for talking to Alex. It's not simply catching up with an old fling or catching up with a friend even. He seems to have, you know, some tendency towards trying to, you know, get in there for the scoop, if you will. Alex seems to be a wee bit naive when it comes to things like that. Maybe because he wasn't always a very prominent figure. His family wasn't always very prominent. But Miguel does seem to have some questionable motives. Like, he's flirting with Alex, but it does seem like he's there for the scoop. Later, Henry texts Alex randomly. This is the beginning of them forming a bit of a friendship, which turns into a bit more flirtatious, which turns into a very long-term flirtationship. It's a little bit of negging. It's a lot of sexual tension, a little bit of banter, and Lord knows I love me some banter. Wistful conversation about the upcoming turkey pardoning that takes place at Thanksgiving. And they're just getting closer and closer, even though they're hundreds of miles away. And I really liked how they showed this. It would be like editing of them in the same room, even though they're not in the same room. They're like from the It was so cute. Around Christmas time, however, Alex tells his mother's campaign manager that he has created a very detailed plan that he would like to give to his mother, a Democrat, in order for her to win her home state of Texas. Okay. This is fictional. We'll just ignore all of the voter suppression and gerrymandering to fucking Texas, but we love a dream, baby. But Alex is like, I want to be there in a way that isn't just for photo ops. Like, I want to help. I want to be of service. Are we going to do red, white, and blue makeup? Not me being patriotic. And they're like, girl, be realistic. We are not winning Texas. Come on now. After months and months of online flirting and going back and forth, they finally see each other at Alex's New Year's Eve party. And it seems to be one of the situations where Prince Henry can actually unwind a bit. He's able to drink, be merry, listen to early 2000 Yin Yang Twins, and most importantly, be around Alex. Alex is very popular with the ladies. He's a beautiful man. I can see why. So when one comes up to Alex vying for his attention, it seems to put Henry in a bit of a sour mood. Alex goes after him. Again, they dance to Yin Yang Twins.
Did he say till the sweat drops down my balls?
And there's a moment when everyone gets low in slow motion, and the only two people still standing are Alex and Henry. And all time stands still as everyone drops ass for just that moment. And as stupid as it sounds, it was very cute. But it's 10 seconds to midnight, and everyone counts down the new year. And at the strike of midnight, two women come up to Alex and kiss him. Henry sees it. And again, he seems to have this very sullen, dejected kind of aura. And I'm like, oh my God, no. He seems to leave without notifying anybody, which is very dangerous for a prince to do. And Alex goes out after him, and he's like, where are you going? What's going on? Did I do something? Did I upset you? Henry's like, do you ever wonder who you'd be if you weren't in the public eye? Henry's like, I'd be a writer. I'd probably live in Paris. I would definitely date more. And Alex is like, you're a prince. I'm sure you do plenty fine in the dating world. And Henry's like, the people I date don't interest me. And the people that interest me, I can't date. I don't understand. And Henry's like, you're so dense. And then he goes up to him and kisses him. And I'm like, ah! Sorry. It's so cute. I'm so alone. And Henry just leaves him there speechless and walks off, saying, I'm sorry. And then after that, Henry just doesn't respond to Alex at any point when he tries to message him. Again, over the last few months, they've been talking to each other all day, every day. Oh, I've been there, bitch. Ain't it ghetto? When shit like that happens, it's like, hello, I thought we were good. And then one thing physical happens and he's like, I can't do this. Men are so annoying. After they initiate, I'm sorry, my whole problems are bleeding into, sorry. Can we talk? Can we discuss what happened? And so a month goes by and he doesn't say anything. Eventually he does admit to Nora that something happened with Henry. And she's like, honestly, I clocked that a while ago. I've just noticed that he be looking at you hard as hell and he don't be looking at me and I'm fine. So must be gay. Alex says, I'm not really concerned about my sexuality and being into guys. I mean, I've kind of reached the conclusion that I'm bisexual a while ago. But the issue is that it's Henry, the prince. That can get complicated. Nora then asks if he's been with a guy and he's like, I've been with 2, none of them into full-blown sex, but I hooked up with a guy in high school and then Miguel, the reporter. But being that Alex can't get anything from Henry, he's like, well, are you gonna come to the prime minister's event that I invited you to? You're supposed to be my guest. It kind of looks bad if you don't show up. Are you coming? What's happening? So the event takes place. He's there, Alex. Miguel's there. He everywhere. Somehow Miguel had gotten his memo on trying to take Texas, and he was like, you got some really good ideas. Is that the plan for the campaign now? Or are y'all gonna try to take Texas? And Alex ain't really listening to him. He's looking for Henry. So when he finally sees him, he's like, yeah, sure, yeah, we gonna take Texas anyway, and then walks away. But Henry isn't coming any closer. He's not bridging the gap, considering he created said gap. And so Alex goes to his security and he's like, can you get me some time and space alone with Henry? I need to talk to him. And she's like, okay, I can probably get you a few moments in the red room, but probably not much more than that, because he also has his own secret service and they're gonna be like, what the hell is going on? They meet in a room. Henry comes to apologize and Alex is like, shut up, and they kiss again. And I'm like, they don't have much time though, because the security lady comes in and she's like, oh man, oh my bad, oh shit. But they agree to avoid each other for the rest of the night and then meet up in Alex's hotel room later that day. So they do just that. Henry comes over, he gives him some royal crown. They clarify sexuality, Alex being bi, Henry being gay as the day is long. And they kind of reach this conclusion. They're like, hey, I wouldn't mind meeting up and doing this, something like this again. Hooking up on the low. That's fine. But they say, if we're going to continue to do this, we got to keep it casual. And they're like, yeah, of course. We can't have the press, knowing about us. And Henry is like, I can't afford you falling in love with me. And Alex is like, wow, okay. Full of yourself. Yeah, I would like to do this. I like spending time with you. Henry invites Alex to his polo charity event. So this is another situation where they can have some time alone. Later, Alex asks Henry if his family knows that he's gay. He says that his sister knows. His grandfather, the king, seems to have his suspicions, but he warns him on doing anything that would bring shame to the crown. And being gay is one of those things, I guess. But he belongs to the country. If he were to belong to someone else, it could only be momentarily. That night, they decide to have penetrative sex for the first time. Again, this is the first time that Alex has ever done so he's a bit nervous. But they do, and I'm reminded the many times that I am whenever I watch a particularly convincing romance that I could not be an actor. We're not gonna simulate sex and then I just go back to living the life that my eyes are watering again. I just can't go back to acting like that didn't happen. At the end of us simulating sex, not even having sex, I will be planning our lives out together. So after filming, what you doing? For forever. Afterwards, Henry asks Alex if he ever wishes he wasn't the president's son. If there was an opportunity to just be and not have that expectation on him. And Alex is like, admittedly, no, I feel like we're in a very important place. I feel like we're in the best place to help people and really make a difference. I honestly wish I could do more, but they won't let me because they see me as the president's son. I'm just supposed to do like the social things or whatever, but I'm not supposed to get like involved, which sucks. So Alex comes back to the US and Mama President is like, did you tell Politico that we're going to try to flip Texas? And he's like, no, well, not exactly. Well, there are a bunch of tweets going around saying that we're going to flip Texas in a new Texas strategy that I didn't know we had. We are getting slaughtered in the Rust Belt, and that's where we're going to focus. And you flipping your lip off over to the press about how we're going to flip Texas. And he's like, did you even read my memo that I prepared for Texas? Like, we could really do it. She's like, you need to be realistic. But eventually she does end up reading his proposal on how we can get Texas more engaged. She's like, okay, fine. I'll send you out on the campaign trail for Texas then. So he spends the summer rallying, organizing. And while he's doing that, while he's on the trail, he's sending emails back and forth with Henry. Over these emails, it starts off relatively mild, but over time, they do get gradually more and more steamy, which reminded me, the former president of my alma mater got in a sex scandal because he was sexing his mistress through the school email, which meant that once that got called out, people could read said emails. Oh, that was very funny. If I remember correctly, she was his secretary or something. He was having an affair with her and possibly using company funds to fly her out to conferences and stuff, if I remember correctly. Was it Europe? It was messy. If you're curious about that story, I'm sure it's out there. But yes, they're sexting through email. Bad idea. Always a bad idea. Things get sexual. Things get vulnerable. Eventually, Alex is able to address the crowd at the Democrat convention. Fucking hell, why do you open these? And later, at the hotel, he ends up running into Miguel again because he's everywhere. Miguel makes a suggestive remark about how he should come to his room. He was like, nah, fuck you. You a rat bitch. You told everybody we were gonna flip Texas. He was like, what you're trying to do anyway? Might I add, it was on the record. You told me that. But before they can hash this out, in comes Henry. He seems to be in town to visit. Alex goes up to Henry. He's like, hey, we gotta get out of here, dude. And there's Miguel looking at him like a hater ass bitch. This is a drag lash. Miss Americana. But yeah, Miguel looking at him like a hater ass bitch. And I was like, oh, he better not out them. They go up to the hotel. They do what they do. They get even more vulnerable. And the next morning, the campaign manager comes to the room trying to wake up Alex. And that's when she discovers Prince Henry is there. And she's like, oh my God, who saw him? Who knows about this? She's like, you? Get the back to England. You focus on getting your mother reelected. After this, Alex is like, okay, I feel like I should come out to my mom. So once back at the White House, Alex tells his mother that he met someone, that someone is a guy, and that guy is Henry. And Mama Uma Thurman is very supportive, and she's like, this is complicated by it being Henry, but I'll say this. Do you think that he's your forever? Like, do you see yourself being with him forever? Because this relationship could define you for the rest of your life. Know that he's worth it, which is a very fair thing to say to your kid in this context. He's like, admittedly, I don't know, but I do care about him. So with that out of the way, Alex later invites Henry to his family's summer home. There's not that many people there. The people that do see them don't give a that they're gay. They can unwind. Again, he doesn't have to be a prince here. He can sing terrible karaoke. They can play sports in the backyard. They can just live and relax for a bit. It is pretty apparent Alex is garnering more less than casual feelings about Henry. He ends up coming out to his father, and his father is, supportive as well. But admittedly, the prince is kind of dumb. But sometimes you just gotta make dumb decisions. Sometimes you just gotta jump. So you don't have to do that. And so while at the lake, Alex decides to make that dumb decision to tell Henry how he feels about him. You can tell that he's like about to say something momentous, and then Henry starts to look real existential. Oh no, he about to tell me he loved me and I can't do that. So right when he's about to do it, he jumps in the water and swims away instead of letting him tell him that he loves him. If I was Alex, that would just be it. I'd be like, oh, Okay, well, don't mind me. I'll just go fucking kill myself. It's fine. Oh, it's not all over. Just feels like it. Yep, Henry just swims away, catches a red eye to go back to England the next day. Not even the next day, the sun ain't even up yet. When he gets back, he ends up telling his sister, like, I had to end things with Alex because, like, I was getting too close and it's, you know, I can't do this shit. Henry starts to push him away like he did before, not answering his calls. And Alex is like, I don't know what to do. And Nora's like, if you really love him, just go to London. And he's like, well, what if he won't see me? And she's like, well, at least you'll have your answer. Which, yeah, but it hurts. Holds on. This combination is it. That's cute. So he does just that. He flies across the pond, comes through the rain to tell the man he loves that he loves him. And Henry is like, do you think this is easy for me? And Alex is like, what am I supposed to think? You don't talk to me. I'm willing to fight for us. And Henry's like, because it costs you nothing. I can't afford to be reckless. I wasn't raised by loving, supportive family. And you don't get to call me a coward for having a shred of self-preservation. And Alex is like, okay, if you want me to leave, then I'll go. But you're going to have to tell me to go. You're going to have to let it come out of your mouth that you want me to leave, and I'll never bother you again. And I cried. I'm sorry. I did. I was like, oh my God, don't send him away. Henry's like, there's something I want you to see. And he takes him to this museum that seems to be connected to the palace. This is a place that I always told myself I would bring the person I love. And they slow dance in the halls and relish this moment as if it's their last. I can't cry. I spent so long doing that. As they're dancing, he's like, please be patient with me so I could be brave for us. Because when they write about me in history, I want you to be there. I want to have you included. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm good. So Alex stays the night, and before he leaves, Henry gives him his ring, and Alex gives him the key to his home in Austin that he keeps on his neck. Why am I crying? God, no! Oh, God. And Alex was like, I'll be as patient as you need. Let me get some Q-tips. I'm about to Wendy Williams this bitch. So Alex is off to help win the election, and just when things seem to be getting better, here comes a hating ass bitch, Miguel, who hacked into their emails and posted it onto Reddit. Bitch ass nigga. And apparently there's security photos all over of them together at the hotel, and it's all over the internet, babe. And I was mad. I was heated. Henry's like, I need to talk to Alex. I need to talk to Alex, make sure that he's okay. And they're like, oh, we've confiscated your phone. You can't talk to him at all. And they're basically like forcing them to stay away from each other as they do damage control. And Miguel, like the little bitch that he is going around to news channels talking about, he was like, oh, well, I'm the first American journalist to break the story. And the reporter's like, why do we need to know this? Like, why do we need to know this? Important because he isn't a private citizen since he's helping his mother with her campaign. It gave us the right to be nosy. It was very weird. He's a weird ass bitch. But Alex, by contrast, is a real bitch. Yes, I've been in a relationship. I fell in love with someone who happened to be a man. That man happened to be the Prince of England. And it's not like the entire time we've known each other, we didn't consider how this impacts the country. But at the end of the day, it's no one's right to share our relationship before we were ready to do so. And there was no one's right to share our queer identities before we were ready to do so. Now that it's known, we're here to continue our lives and our love on our own term. Y'all. Exactly. Y'all can eat a dick. The campaign manager is able to circumvent the crown or whatever and able to get Henry and Alex to talk to each other. And Alex is like, do you need me? I will fly there. And he's like, yeah. And he was like, I would break the sound barrier for you. Where's my Q-tip? Oh, God. They're finally back together, and the king is like, I want to talk to both of y'all because I want y'all to know that we about to lie. We about to tell everybody these are baseless allegations, and Prince Henry is not gay. And he's like, no, I am gay. I am in love with this man, and I am committed to him. If you would have read the emails, you would have saw it. I actually love this person. I love him so much. And then outside, crowds of people come to the palace to cheer on the prince, and the love is like, fuck you know, and they're like cheering, like, oh my god, prince, the prince is gay, we support you. And I'm like, and then he goes out and addresses the people, and he's like, I'm no longer gonna be the prince of shame and secrets. And they kiss in front of the window, and then it's election night, and the entire election falls on Texas, and they're like, if it falls on Texas, we probably lost. But by a genuine miracle that could only take place in fiction, the Democrat woman with the bisexual half Mexican son wins Texas. We can dream. And now with the election out of the way and everybody in the kingdom knowing, they're finally able to just be. They're finally able to just live. They go back to the house in Austin. They live out the rest of their lives together. And that's the end of the movie. Oh my god. There's a little bit more to the movie talking about Alex and his identity with privilege, being that he was from a working class family and yada yada yada, but I skipped it because I just wanted to get to the lovey-dovey stuff. I'm so deprived. Let me just see people in love. Like, all jokes aside, I've been fighting back tears this entire episode, which is the first time I've ever done that, I think, talking about a movie. It's so cute. If this isn't obvious, please go watch it if you've been considering it. It's very corny. I didn't touch on that. It's very corny. It's very dumb. But it's also very, very cute. I see it being someone's like feel-good movie because it's like adorable. Anyway, so though I am frustrated that it ended up being good, I am pleasantly surprised that it was good. So that's all for today, folks. If you like today's video, feel free to like today's video. Next week, we're talking about The Ultimatum. For those of you that have been letting me know that it's back, I know. As of filming today, I have seen the first 5 episodes, and we'll be doing a recap of those first 5 episodes probably next week. So stay tuned for that. If you like this video, feel free to like this video, comment, subscribe, give me other movies that you think I should watch, and oh, listen to my music. I'm getting really good at it now. Listen to my album, Songs You'd Like to Hear. That'll be playing as the outro goes out, and it'll be linked down below. Thank you. Bye.